So I took this ABC News back to the WWD reporter, the trade magazine, and say, hey, you interviewed me 3 months ago. You still haven't published it. See someone published it. Do you want to use it to convince your boss? And the person did. So we got the news came out. From there was a vendor in Canada saw the news and contact us, become our first supplier.
You have found Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Downloadable audio episodes can be found on the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. We are locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie, Calls on Call Extraordinary Answering Service, as well as the Bold Business Book. And today we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Anya Cheng of Taelor.Style. And Anya's going to tell us about the business of, I'm going to dare say looking good, but I guess you can tell me if that's in the right realm here. So how's it going today, Anya?
Hello. This is Anya Cheng from Silicon Valley, founder and CEO of Taelor. We use AI to pick clothes for men. And after we pick the clothes, we send you real clothes for you to wear for a couple of weeks. Once you're done, you can buy the clothes or return the dirty clothes and get next shipments. No more shopping or laundry. Before starting the company 2 years ago, I was mostly leading e-commerce at big tech company. Most recent at Meta, where I help build out Facebook, Instagram shopping. As eBay's head of product, help them to build out new business in the US, new market in Latin America, Africa, Asia. Was a senior director for McDonald's, help them to build out food delivery business when Uber Eats just started, and help Target to launch its tech office here in Silicon Valley. I'm excited to share more.
Yeah, that's incredible. Tell me, how did you end up going from the big players there to starting your own thing?
When I was working for those big tech company, I felt a little bit imposter syndrome. I'm a woman in technology. I'm an immigrant from Taiwan. So sometimes I feel like people thinking that I'm an amazing boss and really want to feel confident and ready for the day. So I want to look great. I try some subscription boxes like Stitch Fix, which you have to buy from every single shipment. And I start using some rental company, like I rent this from Armour, or rent a runway newly by Urban Outfitter, which is a profitable unicorn. But all of those women's rental company will mostly require women to pick clothes. So you have to browsing through thousands of garments. It was a aha moment for me that I realized most of fashion companies are designed for people who are into fashion, not for lazy people like me who just want to get ready for the day and be successful. So I research on who else think like me. Hate shopping, hate laundry. Turn out those people. They are single guy, salespeople, podcast host, recruiter, pastor, professor who are not into fashion but need to look good because they are socially active. And that's why Taelor was born.
Nice. So when you started this, was it geared specifically towards men, or is it men and women?
We only offer menswear, but we do have 10% of our customers who are women who either signed up for their husbands or managers or for Hollywood studio or photo studio for the shows, or they are wives to sign up for their husbands. Those wives used to be the person who have to do the shopping. They hate doing those shopping too, but their husband hate it even more. So now their wife actually signed up for the service for their husbands and sometimes even manage their accounts. Or we also have women who wear menswear and they are able to get those high quality menswear from 300 brand, and they don't have to go to the store. Sometimes for women who wear menswear, they feel a bit awkward when they go into menswear store. So then now they have the customer service for them.
All right. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, you must have to warehouse a lot of clothing. Is that right?
That's not true, because keep in mind, we are like a circular fashion. So most of the clothes are with customers or either on the way to the customer or back to our warehouse. So we have a small warehouse. We do have 20,000 garments, but then they are distributed to the customers all over the country. And so it's like library, not every book in the library. And once you get into a library, those books get rent out, like borrows again. The same thing, your Uber, you get off the car, someone else get on the car, share economy.
All right. Tell me help me understand, how long have you been doing this on your own here?
We launched about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we now serve US nationwide and work with over 300 brands, both in the US and also globally.
All right. Interesting. Okay. So tail end of the pandemic, help me understand, you have all these clothing pieces that people like I don't know what I'm buying as far as besides a t-shirt or something like that. Help me understand who you have, or maybe it's you, figuring out what pieces of clothing to actually offer people.
Yeah, so we use technology like AI, and also we have human stylists. So when customers sign up, they will fill out a simple quiz. The quiz will tell us about their a lot of information, such as their height and weight, which we don't use a lot because most of the guys think they are taller and thinner, and their height and weight tend to be wrong. So we also ask other questions like, "Hey, can you go to your closet and pick your favorite outfit? Tell me what brand, what size." And also tell me what are the fit issues that you usually have. For example, oh, I usually sleeves too long, wear pants too tight, and I wear Banana Republic t-shirt size large. Then we usually have like ideas that what the customers want. We also show them some pictures. They can like, dislike. They can scrolling through and upload some picture of themselves or their significant others, or the singers, or actors, sport athlete who they love their outfits. And from there, our AI will pick the perfect outfit based on the upcoming schedule.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. How do you train the I should say from the start.
Yeah, so we do have our proprietary data because our customers, they every time they when you just started, we have human stylists, and human stylists put the knowledge into the AI, and then we also acquired two companies. They have done human stylings for the last 10 years. They weren't successful because it's extremely hard to scale without AI, but they do have those styling data. And also, of course, there's a lot of styling data out there on the internet on how to pair this with what. We also have our non-biased customer feedback. You think of this when I was at Target or Facebook shopping or eBay, people buy something or not, it's not because they like it. It's actually mostly because of price.
Oh,
Anything you don't need it, if it's 90% off, you probably will buy it. You think someone else will need it, you will send someone else a gift. So pricing significantly polluted and influenced the customer favorite data. However, in our model, it's more like what you decide what to watch on Netflix. You already pay a monthly fee. So when you watch a show, is what you truly desire and you like, not because it's on discount. So we do have this type of data because customer pay us a monthly fee, and then they can wear, say, $100. They wear 10 clothes per month. So we have those unbiased data. We also got feedback from customers because it's subscriptions. Like your Netflix, you tend to probably still hit like, dislike to your show because you wanted to recommend something that you will watch. It's the same thing. You are going to get next shipment. So you're going to provide feedback to help us to get the next shipment even better and tailored to your needs. And we got professional stylists. They have the know-how. We work with 300 brands. They know the future. Typical AI doesn't know the future. AI know the past, right? But then those 300 brands, they are designing the collection 2 years down the road. They are trendsetters for the world. So they know the future. So we combine all of these data together and then put it on top of a large language model like OpenAI, ChatGPT. We put it on top of them. So then we are always one step ahead. But as they grow, we also grow.
interesting. So you mentioned you're worldwide. Is that right?
We only serve customer nationwide in the US, but we source brand worldwide. So our
Got it.
customers can get
Okay.
the best brand in Italy, in Paris, in Singapore, and Japan, that which are not available in the US before, but only serve the US market.
All right. Tell me about style of the like nation. The U.S. is pretty big, so you got people on the East Coast and West Coast that I would say are more cutting edge, fashionably, than the middle of the country. So do you have to adapt it all like that, or do you figure that the people that are getting a service like this are already on the cutting edge? So regardless of where they're at.
In fact, our customer has in all different states. There's no particular states. Of course, larger city has more customer because there are more people over there. But there's a demographic. We are a customer as young as 16, as old as 85. We really don't have a very diverse demographic. However, all of our customers have very specific lifestyle. They all socially active. They are either meeting with people for work or for dates. They are single guys, salespeople, pastor, recruiter, professor. They meet people. So they need to dress up. It's not like they are working from home and they never turn on their camera, or it's not like they are chef wear uniform most of the time. So they are people who does meet with other people and need to dress up. But there are also people who don't read GQ. They don't know what they like. They have very little thing in their closet. They wear the same brand again and again in the last 10 years. They only know 5 brands like Lululemon, Nike, Uniqlo, Banana Republic. But so they want to expand their horizon. Actually, they don't like to wear the same thing in the last 10 years. But they also not so interested in spending time to figure out and learn about fashion. And that's where we come in. We offer the service. So on the consumer side, what we really do is we are a service company. We are like the executive assistant. They're concierge, they're butlers. So we really is helping them to get ready for their week. They are buying the mind space, they are buying the time.
Interesting. Tell me, so I was just joking with a buddy of mine because we were at the airport looking around the people at the airport. It seems like everybody, or not everybody, most people are just showing up at the airport in their pajamas. They got their little, I don't even know, their little fluffy shoes on. They got their jogging pants on. They got their sweatshirt that's probably about 7 sizes too big. Looks like they just rolled out of bed. Where decades ago, going to the airport was almost a formal thing because it was a privilege to be able to go to the airport. Now people are just like, whatever. So taking that from your experience, are there some people that just aren't interested in dressing up regardless of where they're going?
Yeah, they are definitely those people. But most of our customers, they are ambitious. They have a dream. They are inspired. They want to success. They don't want to look good actually, but they want to be successful. They want when they go on when they are single, when they go on a date, they feel they are ready. And when they are working, they're still applying for the manager role, they're getting promotions. Salespeople, they still very eager to get deals. So for them, trying anything to invest to make sure their day is perfect, their social life is successful, their also business is growing. This is one of the many investments, and it's probably cheaper than their dry clean, because if you learn like dry clean 10 items per month, probably will take you $100 already, right? So it's cheaper than dry clean, a lot cheaper definitely than personal stylists. As you know, in the past, only celebrity can afford personal stylist. And on the other hand, when they are, after they try the clothes, they wear for a couple of weeks, when they buy something, it's a lot cheaper because it's secondhand. So it's still like new, but only been worn for a few times, and still like very, a lot cheaper than retailer price because it's secondhand. So it's doing good for the world to save the environment as well. So yes, for sure. And we also have we also have people who are not our customers, are people who are re-GQ. They are very passionate for fashion. They love to exploring new fashion. They love shopping. We previously heard a customer, he no longer became our customer because he really liked to go to a secondhand website and going through thousands of garments. But again, those are not typical men's. And so most of our customers are not interested in spending time in those places.
Fair. What do you like to see people wear, or what do you like to see guys wear?
It doesn't matter. I think what we really see is that our customers tend to start trying something new than before. A lot of guys, when they signed up, we open their closet, only blue. There's nothing else, just blue. And they only have the same dress shirt, the same brand in the last 10 years. So we tend to push them a little bit out of comfort zone. It's rental, right? Just like your Netflix show. If you go on to buy a DVD, you probably want to make sure this Home Alone you'll watch 5 times in the last 2 years. But if you are just watching a show, why not give it a try for Netflix? Try those 3 minutes. If you don't like it, so be it, right? But in the same thing for us too, like it's rental. So our stylist will say, hey, I really think you should try this purple or brown, which mocha is the most popular color of the year, by the way. So if you do have something brown, you can say, it's a year of mocha, and I have mocha, which is brown. And so try something different. And most of the guys, they would be surprised that they actually look great in those stuff, or floral. They never tried new prints, and now they have a chance to wear. And you don't have to marry to a clothes. You only wear it for a week.
Huh. That's pretty slick. I can tell you, I wear a pink suit every once in a while.
Wow.
And man, I've made more connections with that freaking suit.
It's a
that,
conversation opener.
oh my gosh, people, I'm going to dare say some of the most introverted people in the world in a certain networking room. So maybe not the most introverted ever, but very introverted people that just look lost. You just walk by them with the pink suit and they're like, oh my gosh, they're just like magnets. And it is crazy. I bought it for a trade show, and now when I'm going to a networking event, I wear it on purpose because it's a conversation starter. It's incredible.
Yeah,
It
we
is
also want to be
surreal.
an icebreaker. Yesterday, we just met with one of our investor, and he said, "Oh, he started using a service, and somehow we sent him floral, and when he received it, he wasn't very happy. He's like, what? Floral? I never wear any floral." And then he wear it out, and everyone said, "This looks so great." And he's like, "Okay," and it becomes conversation starter. Wow, you make a difference. You actually looks different today. It's just a conversation starter, and feel confident and change a bit.
No, I get it. I was judging a DECA conference, and I'm in this room at this convention center or whatever, and there's probably, I don't know, 12, 15 judges, something like that. I'm in a blue suit, and I look around me, everybody else in a blue suit. I'm like, these kids are going to walk in here that we're judging. They're going to walk in here and think they came into some IRS office or something like this because it's just a bunch of people in the same blue suit. Which was, I'm like, ooh, I'm one of the minions here. I got to change this. So I get it. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, one time we have a customer. He actually is an interior designer. So he sent us a whole bunch of picture of his interior design, and he said, "I want my office to talk about my brand, my personal brand." So match it. We have customers send us picture of their wife and what their wife is renting. Their wife also using rental service, which from our competitors, and they say, "I want to match this type of style." We have people send us the conference, say, "Hey, this is a conference I'm going to. I will be a speaker. This is other people make the best choices." We have people tell us that this is a client who I'm meeting next week, and almost like psychology, think about what color will actually entice them and feel like great and they excite them. We have people go to a meeting and they say, "Hey, I want to fit in. I am a consultant, but the first thing as a consultant to do is to listen. So, but in order to make them talk to me, I want to fit in. So I don't want something like suit and tie. I want something looks like these tech companies employee." But of course, we also have people who just out of college and say, "Hey, I'm going on job interview. Please dress me up," and but does not make me like black suit. Looks like I'm actually really junior. So we have this situation all the time, and that's where the magic comes in.
That is cool. I love it. Tell me about the accessories because I'm seeing your earrings, but I imagine you have socks and the belt and maybe suspenders or something like that. Do you get involved with those as well?
Not yet, but we will be very soon. So today we offer those clothes from all over the world. And before we have those clothes, actually a lot of fashion brand today, 30% of the clothes go directly from factory to landfill. It create 20% of polluted water, 10% of carbon emission for the world. Fashion is not the most polluted industry. One of the most polluted industry in the world is not one of, is the one. So fashion and in like building this like construction is actually the both the most polluted industry in the world. So today we help them to find new outlets and monetize those unsold inventory, but we also provide data to feedback so then they can stop producing junk, know what's better to produce. And talk about accessory and shoes. Yes, our customers now are say, "Hey, you actually style me. You know my schedule. You know I'm going on meeting next week. You know I'm going this conference. How about shoes, accessories, belt, stuff that I'm not renting, but can I just buy here because you are my executive assistant, you are my concierge?" So yes, we are expanding that. So if you are listening, you are an amazing brand from all over the world. We would love to partner with you as long as it's high quality. So we will happy to be the one-stop shop for our busy man.
Nice. Tell me about the company name. How did you come up with it, and what challenges you come in with getting the domain?
Yeah, so when we were getting a name, it actually was hard because came from marketing background. I helped to naming a lot of product people actually use on Facebook. So it was not easy. We could have amazing idea, but turned out most of our amazing idea was already registered. So we decided to go with a name Taelor, Taelor, and our website is Taelor.Style, Taelor.Style, because Tailor, it sounds like Tailor, the custom suit guy, right? So it's individual because every guy actually get different clothes from us. We have 20 to 30,000 garments. So every time you pick or our stylist pick for you is actually different, right? Every outfit is different. Every box is going out is different. Although it's not custom made, but it's like a library. We already picked the perfect book for you, right? So it's tailored, but at the same time, Tailor is just a regular person's name like Anya or like James, right? So we also think they're representing you. Like we don't want you to dress up but feel uncomfortable because it's not you. We still want you to feel like James still James, but James looks even better today and surprisingly get different attentions from people and it's a good attention from people. So turn out that we go with Tailor.
Nice. I love it. Has it been a challenge, I guess, just since it's Taylor essentially spelled differently? Has it been a challenge to tell people the website and get them to understand?
Most of our customer found us. We do pretty good internet. So if you even go on ChatGPT, you search men's fashion trend 2025, you actually the answer is from us. For 3 years old startup is not easy, but I'm very lucky. I did came from the background of working at Facebook, eBay, my colleagues, and now working for Google's and Amazon's and all those big tech company. So I got a lot of kind of personal connections on best practice and what to do with those things. And we also, because our mission is on sustainability, help people to achieve their dreams. We are woman found, minority found companies. And so we tend to get a lot of attractions in media. We are number one on GQ, Bloomberg, ABC. We have 5-star review in Google Map and over 100 reviews for a startup. So we got a lot of nature attractions from audience. So we have been able to do that very well. But at the same time, we know that's not enough. So we are actually partnering with 7 dating sites, including Coffee Meets Bagel, and we plan to partner with more matchmaker, dating site, fitness center, and also companies. So if you are a company and you are looking for a sustainable gift that help your employee to look good, which they close the deal and also feel confident and higher performing while also saving the environment, then we would love to partner with you.
That is genius. That's an excellent segue because I was going to ask you how have you marketed it. The dating site, that's a genius idea. How did you initially get the name out there and how are you continuing to now?
Yeah, so I think so. The story back to when a few years ago I went to TechCrunch conference. So we think that hey, getting our name out, the best way is getting some press, but no one is going to interview us since we are so small. So I wait outside of the press room. When the reporter came out, I deliver my business card and say, hey, this is our business, which we haven't started at the time. It was just idea. So eventually I did talk to a person and she said, okay, we can keep in touch. I follow up a few times. She said, I'm really not interested in these stories. Please stop emailing me. So I stopped. And a month after, she circled back. She said, hey, I'm still not interested in the story, but somehow my colleague actually interested in your story, which she doesn't understand why, but here you go, you guys can connect. So I talked to the reporter, is a in WWD, which is in the fashion industry, a trade publications. So we have the amazing conversation. He really gets it. I think it's perfect. We are going to get on the news. It never happened. So 3 months went by. We went on a startup competition. So we won the West Coast Championship and we were ready to compete globally. And at that time, the host of the competition is actually University of Chicago, where I graduate from. But I also graduate from Northwestern University and I teach at Northwestern University. And as you guys know, Northwestern and University of Chicago, they are like rivalry schools, right? They compete a lot. So I think, hey, this could be a story point. Northwestern faculty compete in University of Chicago global final. So, and I submit the story to a school publication. Of course, it's easy to get on school publication. They publish news. And the ABC News actually pick up from the school publications and become an ABC News. So I took this ABC News back to the WWD reporter, the trade magazine, and say, hey, you interviewed me 3 months ago. You still haven't published it. See someone published it. Do you want to use it to convince your boss? And the person did. So we got the news came out. From there was a vendor in Canada saw the news and contact us, become our first supplier.
Wow, that's incredible.
So many times people want to kind of be pick up and being like a stone and cross the river, throw away and cross the river. But most of the story in entrepreneurship is like it's like stone under the water. You flee one time, once at a time, and again and again, and eventually you are going to pass the river, but not just one time.
Fair, totally fair. So does that mean that you're relying on essentially publicity and word of mouth, or have you done any paid advertising?
Yeah, we mostly doing the SEO. We do have a little bit paid search, ensure people can find us given that we are pretty small. We haven't done a lot of other paid marketing given that we are startup and we want to make sure we spend money mostly in on the customer's hands on they get quality clothes, they get great customer service, they get good shipping times. So a lot of through our customers referral, but definitely over time we will do more marketing and specifically probably other partnership with fitness center, dating site matchmaker, and also sell to the corporates.
All right. Tell me about your team, the team that you have today.
Yeah, we have a pretty small team. We are around 10 people companies, but mostly we hire from my previous colleagues at Meta, eBay, and now work for Google, Facebook, those companies. So we are able to get really high quality talent because my previous 15 years of experience. We also, I have two books, four online courses, and I teach at Northwestern University. So from time to time, we have alumni and students and reach out and say, hey, I really love your course. I love to work with you to learn even more. We also hire people from fashion industry as given that I don't have strong fashion background. So we hire people from Stitch Fix or people who from like Gaps and Pumas and Victoria's Secrets so that they know those fashion brands and have amazing trainings before. And we also have people who is an era of remote working. So we were able to hire people globally as well.
Nice. So on day one, when you started, was it you or did you have a team on day one?
Yeah, I started just me on the day one. We have a few interns who were like my students or my readers who follow my book and social media. And we use a lot of, we call it minimum viable product to test the hypothesis. For example, we launch a landing page and there's nothing, no features on the landing page besides the introduction of our service. And there's just a box where you can put your email, get on the wait list. So it was like 2 months before Thanksgiving. And right at Thanksgiving, someone emailed me and say, hey, I'm Michael and I'm on the, can you bump me up to your wait list? I ignored it. I thought it was a scam because who want to use our service? We are nobody and we haven't even launched a service yet. And at around Christmas time, the guy called me. Somehow he added me on LinkedIn. He found me and I accept. And he saw my phone number and he called me. He said, "Hey, I know your wait list must be really popular. That's why I have to wait for 2 months. But I'm a real estate agent in San Diego. I really like the shorts on the dress shows on your website. And can I get it?" And that moment I realized, wow, it's a real customer. So we found them on the wait list. We went to department store, bought a whole bunch of stuff during Christmas sale, went into a post office, wait in a long line, everybody with a Christmas gift. And we put into the post office box, ship it to him. He became our first customer. And from there, we doing this and style over 100 customer. We learn from their feedback and we put together a business plan based on their recommendations and use a business plan. We pitch and raise $2 million to start.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, we are. We now are able to back by the investor of Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, Hello Kitty, and the founder of YouTube. We and the actually getting the first in VC like venture capital was that we talked to University of Chicago alumni, and in that conversations, I was supposed to ask him to refer us to his investor, but I forgot. In that conversation, I was just trying to help him. I found the intrigue about his AI company. So I introduced a whole bunch of customers to him. He's doing security space. So I introduced like bodyguard from my Facebook time where I bring internet to the countries without internet. So I connect him to our bodyguard. I used to live in Chicago. So I connect him to the police station's friends over there. And then so a month after he circled back and said, "Hey, Anya, thank you so much for those amazing referrals. By the way, anything I can help? What was the reason you reached out to me at the beginning?" I said, I was trying to ask you for an investor. So then he connected us to his investor. In half an hour, we got $1 million.
Nice. That is incredible. I want
Yeah,
to shift
sometimes
gears.
opportunities there when you are not looking for. So
Nice. That's perfect. It's all who you know and who knows you, I suppose, right?
yeah, and also good. I think givers game. If you are giving, and the opportunity will come back.
Fair. Totally fair. Oh my gosh, 1,000 times over. I want to shift gears to the logistics of how you make all this happen. So, one, people are getting the clothes. That means that you have to ship them. And I always joke that it's a small world until you have to ship something. And then all of a sudden it's a very expensive world. So tell me, what have been some of the things that you've gone through to figure out how to ship this efficiently and affordably?
Yeah, so we use post office. So fairly reasonable in terms of the quality and shipping time. And we also we do have a great relationship with local governments. And given that we are like more innovations, and we named by Business Journal as most innovative startup in the Bay Area, and we are also sustainability company, and so we also giving back to the local community. We help like the local school getting internship program. We constantly being on the speakers or panel. We're hosting student tour to our office, etc. So the local government has been pretty friendly for us, and that means that we are able to get some supports. And sorry, the question was
Shipping. How
shipping.
to, I guess,
Therefore,
because I imagine, yeah.
therefore, the local government are very close to the post office, as you know, because they are all like government system. So then the post office is quite friendly. For example, we are able to allow us to pick the time of the shippings, and so then they come and pick it up twice a day based on our schedule. Or sometimes if the item were, for example, after we ship out, but we realize the customer actually wrote the wrong address, then we are able to sometimes if it's still local, we are able to retrieve back the package,
Oh, wow.
which definitely not easy. So I think the supporting the community does allow us to also have the local connection, and which getting a little bit more favorable treatments and helping on getting these things too. But over time, we are definitely also exploring other options and partner with others in laundry companies, shipping companies, and so open-minded.
Okay. Tell me about the packaging, because I imagine that packaging gets beat up going back and forth. Do you have to use new packaging each time? Or is it you kind of figure out like, hey, this box is good for another shipment, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually, we thought about this and tested out in the last 2 years. And I think so when people think about your packaging, you should think about what you really were trying to achieve using your packaging. For example, you see the Apple box coming, it does not come in with the name Apple outside, right? Because what they want to achieve is they want to prevent thief. They don't want anyone steal those things. And for our customer, they are actually busy men who are not very into, it's not like gifting experience or what. So for them, we actually asking, would you like a fancy box or what? And turn out the answer was no one care. So what we do was we pick the box. We actually use the bag, no box. Why? Because what we found was number one, if they don't have like the locker rooms, then they can potentially put the bag and put into their mailbox. So it's small enough because if summer like 5 items is pretty small. So if their mailbox is have a certain size, they actually be able to fit in, which means it is less likely to be stolen. Or for example, if they get put on the porch, then if it rains, if it's like paper box, is going to be soak. But then if it's plastic, it's actually better. Of course, it's recycle using recycled material. And then we sometimes, for customer who support sustainability, we ask them, it can be reusable. You can use the same bag coming back. At one point, we try to implement for every customer, but customer also complain because they found sometimes when they open, it was already wrapped off, or after shipping for 2 days, they feel that they arrive pretty dirty. Of course, everyone's definition of dirty is different, so sometimes people don't want to use it again. But in general, we try to use the sustainable environment items, but also help customer feel easy and doing the job to be done to fulfill their needs.
That is interesting. I love that you talked about the presentation of the packaging. Because where, like how you mentioned a lot of the cell phones, the packaging is very elaborate, and an argument could be made that it's wasteful, but it's almost an event to open up this new phone and all that kind of stuff. Where clothing, they're just like, I want the clothes, I want them fast. The packaging, whatever.
I think
So I
so.
get that.
What they still get is, though, they do get a paper, and the paper that our stylists actually will talk about how to pair these items. So you still come in with like surprise factors like, oh yeah, my stylist actually talked to me. Of course, is half generated by AI, so stylists only need to do minor customization. But you also allows customer feel like, hey, I actually know how to wear this. You remember that I have this conference coming in, birthday party that I'm coming in, or customer even get birthday gift from us because we know their birthday when they signed up. As most of customers want to make sure their clothes is age appropriate for them. So we also get those information. So I think the surprise factor coming in from other things versus the packaging. Also, when they return, because in our model, they wear for a couple of weeks, they buy what they love, but then return the rest. So if it's a box, then they have to go to a post office return or go on the apps to ask for picking up from the post office. But if it's actually a plastic bag, they can actually dump into any post, like the box on the street, the blue box on the street. So it's actually a little bit easier for some customers.
No, so you include the return shipping tag?
That's right.
I guess I'm just picturing the old days with Netflix back when DVDs.
That's right. That's
They'd
right.
send you the red envelope.
That's right. That's right. So it's like that.
All right, very cool. And then do you tell me about the cleaning process? Because I imagine you get all these clothes back and somebody's got to open those up and divvy up, like this one's got a tear, this one needs to be cleaned. How do you keep track of all that?
Yeah, everything come back will be clean, even if the customer sometimes maybe never wear the item for some reason. They just happen to have opportunity where sometimes it's just not perfect for that week. So everything will be washed. We tend to use laundry versus dry clean. Dry clean is a little bit more harmful for the environments. So we try to not dry clean and with a lot of chemistries. And so laundry, and every item is being inspected, but usually they are pretty new because on average when the item gets sold, it's only been renting for 3 times. So just like your airport rental car, most of the time when you rent those cars, they are still pretty new because the rental car company try to sell the car before it get too old. The same thing, we will roll the price, so most customer will buy the clothes pretty fast. And from there, we laundry in half days, and you get to other customers in right away, just like your Ubers or your hotel you check out, and now next person will sleep on the same bed.
Nice. The other next question I have for you is as far as organization goes. You're keeping track. Did you say 20,000 or 30,000 garments? That's a lot.
That's right. That's right.
So you got all those that are being shipped. They're all over the country. Some are being shipped back. Some are being shipped to. Some are in cleaning. Some are on the shelf waiting to go out. How do you keep track of all that?
Yeah, so we have amazing system. I did come from a background of building technology, build Facebook, Instagram shoppings, and eBay's new like the website for Latin America, Africa. So building technology has always been in company's DNA, given that was my background. So every item come in, we actually have a special like unique QR code, unique codes for the clothes. So every item, even though it looks the same, every item is different, because this might be renting 3 times while the same item, the other one renting 4 times, for example. So well, every item is being tracked, so we know when to make sure we inspect to see if it's too old. We also know that the item if need to be adjusted pricing, so then the customer will buy it, feel reasonably priced. We also know the quality of the item, so then we give feedback back to the brand and manufacturer, so then they know. Sometimes, for example, they say, hey, my t-shirt can wear 90 times, and we say, no, 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 actually your bottom can only last for 10 times, even though your t-shirt is there, but then the bottom is not. So we give those very specific feedback to the fashion brand. And that's why in the past, because they don't have a lot of feedback in the past, so that's why there's a lot of inventory overproduction, because people don't buy, but people don't specifically go back and tell them, say, hey, because this area will get a little bit itchy, or this area has a little bit more tear and wear. So I think with us to giving those information, we are able to help those brands to do better and also improve our operations.
Nice. As far as turnover goes of your inventory, what percentage, let's just say annually, is actually purchased by your customers?
Every item go out for like 5 items. 1 or 2 items get sold. And when item gets sold, it's only been renting for 3 times. So we are able to get pretty quick turnaround, given that we are also growing startups. So most of the items coming very new and brand new. So and we constantly, given that we have new customer all the time, so we keep adding new inventory. And also because we are membership, so we know our member first. So James signed up, then we know, okay, James like this because he want to wear for podcasts. So we will source for our customer versus the other way around. In e-commerce, you tend to get the clothes and waiting for the customer to buy. But no, in our case is that we source for our members. So those items tend to be 90% utilization rate when doing the on-seasons clothes. And then we try to do clearance sales before season is gone, so then we don't carry another year, because half year for those clothes. And also good for the customer, they can buy something with some discounts.
That makes sense. I didn't even think about seasons. Oh my gosh. I'm in Wisconsin and I didn't even think about seasons. So, interesting. Tell me next about yeah, right. Tell me about the I guess use of iron or steamer or something like that, because a lot of these clothes, I guess in my experience, the fancier ones, even though they say wrinkle free, they're not exactly wrinkle free. So sometimes you got to give them a little attention, especially if you have to fly with it or something like that to knock the wrinkles out. And I had to learn how to do that. I don't know how I lived my life for a few decades without knowing how to iron something, but apparently I did. I guess t-shirt and jeans will do that. So how do you work that out with people like me that are just Neanderthals when it comes to clothing to make sure that they're showing up wrinkle free in these nice clothes?
Yeah, so first of all, if people traveling, then what they do is usually just update the address, so we ship to the hotel. They don't
Oh,
even
nice.
bring the clothes.
Okay.
So usually there's not a lot of travel issue, because they ship there, and after they are done, they put into return envelope and give it to hotel lobby. They go home without doing laundry. So when they are home, like in the days, they already get the new clothes, they are ready to wear. But it's good things that we do work with over 300 brands, and we know about the quality right away, given that customer give us feedback. So if it's something that is more wrinkling, we let the manufacturer brand knows, and then we stop sourcing those things. So we tend to be quickly know about what are the best performing clothes, and also allow those brands from all over the world that are high quality and really, really good be able to find a home here. So for example, we have a brand called Fine, Fine. It's actually by one of the most biggest conglomerate back in Taiwan. And as people may know, like Taiwan is actually a lot of company actually produce, like Lululemon and Nike is one of the most popular or most successful textile like the area in the world. So they actually launched their own brand. Obviously, no one heard about them in the US, but they are high quality. And so then you get a chance for them to enter a new market, for customer get a chance to try those things, because they actually, some of them are actually Lululemon's manufacturer anyway. So we were able to bridge the two. So for customer who hate doing ironing, so actually we iron it before you go out. Right now it's still a little bit manual given that we are pretty small, but we also know plenty of like machines. Then so when we are bigger, we will acquire more machine, or we might partner with laundry company, dry clean companies, or women's rental companies since they are really good in operation. They already serve 30,000 customers each. And so we might actually partnering with Rent the Runway, Armours, or Newly by Urban Outfitter.
Nice. Does the once the item is shipped in the bag, does it end up being wrinkly, or do the items end up being wrinkly, or they travel well?
It depends. Most of the time, it's still good, pretty good condition because you got ironed it before. Like when you buy, just like you, sometimes people buy new clothes from Amazon or something, right? Most people don't iron again before wearing the clothes. The same thing, right? So because you go out, it should be the same condition as the new clothes. Of course, you do have a little bit situation happen sometimes if people live really far in East Coast, and after they ship to this location, sometimes it got redirects, etc. But it really depends, and but we tend to not sourcing stuff that is too easy to be wrinkling because we know the shipping is needed. But it really depends on the customer. But we teach them a simple trick. All you need to do is hand up and put in while you are showering. And even if you don't do the ironing, you should be fine.
The steam will take care of it.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, it's so funny you say that because my kid asked me, because I was doing that same thing, and he asked me, why does steam, what magic is the steam doing to make your clothes less wrinkly? And I'm like, I don't know.
Is it
We
okay?
got to look online because I don't know what's happening, but it works. But I really don't know it works. I don't know if you happen to know why that is.
I don't, but for women, and we know that we do when we style our hair, we do get weight, but before we style, so I guess it's the same thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So my
Yeah.
hairstylist told me that if you want it, the hair looks good, you have to dry all the way, not dry halfway, because then whatever the style of a halfway is going to stay with you after it's dry. So if you want your style, make sure you dry the hair all the way.
All right. When you don't have much hair, it's not that big of a deal.
So you should be easy to achieve it.
Yeah, right. Tell me, Anya, from a growth point of view, where do you see the business in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, we see our we potentially being we are a unicorn in 5 years. Public company or being sold to company where that does have operation expertise like Amazon, Ubers, or company does have inventories resources such as brands who are fashion brand do have inventory because then they can operate the business cheaper than we do. We also potentially still can resell our business into technology to technology company like eBay's or other like the platform companies, and also potentially be able to get into research company because we actually research for a lot of brands. So think of that when they send close to us, we send the feedback back, very specific feedback, like you need to change your second button because it's what, right? So we become like research data company over time. So we have been talking to those big those company executive and learning about their experience and feedback. And so we are backed by top VC. So far we are on track to be a unicorn in 5 years. But of course,
Nice. That's
lots of work.
incredible.
Thank you. But lots
I'm
of work to
excited.
do. So anyone who want to partner with us, and we would love to work together to accelerate.
Nice. Super cool. Tell me, oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to ask you here. Oh, so you started a few years ago. Tell me what have been some of the things that you learned that you didn't necessarily anticipate from starting this business?
I think so. I won't say not anticipate, but I would say still new, and for me, still learning. Being a startup founder is hard. And what does it mean? Is yes, it's a lot of time and work, but I used to be workaholic for big companies anyway. I work for Facebook, which is known for very, very bad work-life balance. So I'm pretty used to it. I travel over 150 days a year in before. So always sleep in the hotel and on airplanes and airport. So I'm pretty used to it, but mentally it's different. When you are working for big companies and everyone want to please you, right? They want to work with you. I mean, Facebook, or they want to work for you, like being hired as a 10th talent. So almost everywhere you go, people are very nice to you and want to talk to you. But in fact, they just want to talk to someone from Facebook, not Anya, right? But after you became a startup founder, no one cared about Taylor. Who knows Taelor.Style, Tailor.ai? Never heard of it. Startup, oh, let me give you some lessons because everyone want to give startup founders some lesson, right? So it's very, very different. And you get rejected all day long. Your intern say, oh, I just got another intern opportunity at Google. Bye, right? You got your vendor say you didn't buy enough, so we decide to raise your price, or we cut now you have to change your payment terms, right? You talk to investor, of course, like 5 out of 10 say no to you or more, right? So again, and the customer too, like you convince the customer or customer service, and people will say no, that I don't want to continue for whatever reason. So you hear about no and rejection all the time, and you will start making you doubt that, am I doing the right things? Am I good? Am I qualified? Am I a successful person? Right? So I think at the beginning, for example, we went on a startup competition, and I practiced a competition with 42 formal judges. I found them on the internet. I asked for appointments. My pitch was perfect. But when I went on the competition, the judge asked me a question. I stunned because in my head, I wasn't trying to answer the question. I was trying to find, oh, this question, the practice judge 37 asked me, and I wrote down the answer in the appendix 22 because I didn't believe that I could answer. I was trying to find answer from someone else. I didn't believe that I am qualified to answer the question. In fact, when I go home, I totally know the answer of the question, but I didn't believe when I was in the competition. And of course, we lost it. We were we are about to get the global championship, but we lost it. $100,000 were gone. But it was a great lesson because I learned that I am actually better than myself. I need to trust myself in order for other people to trust me. And I think that has been very hard, challenging, and I try to learn and remind myself every single day.
That is so true. That is cool. I love that. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's challenging. I feel like there's some people that believe that once you start your business, you just get a yacht and a private jet. It's just a light switch like that. But that is not the case, turns out. So that is cool. What have been some things that just happened to go your way that you didn't necessarily expect?
I think my work become different in terms of, when I was working for big companies, I don't see much in my community because everything seems so natural and perfect. But when I became a startup founder, after I became startup founder, we start having to say, okay, hey, looking for packers for the warehouse. There's not enough blue collar worker, which is a big problem in the Bay Area. There's easier to find engineer than someone to packings. So like, and we really start seeing like, oh, today post office late. Oh wait, what should we do? Oh wow, it's raining, so now we are warehouse now have leaking. We need to inform the landlord. So I start seeing stuff that I didn't see before, not ghosts, but I start seeing stuff. For example, now I see people in my community that I see people who do the grass. I see people who send the delivery of Amazon guy coming in. I see the light bulb being changed, which is those things I never saw it before because it's just so natural to be part of a life. In fact, our convenience of life is contributed by hundreds of people every day. But you don't appreciate it, you don't see it until you become a startup founder because for the customer to get a perfect package, there's the engineer behind building this technology. There's someone washing your clothes, someone put the tags on, someone style you, someone build the AI, someone hand hide, someone iron your clothes, someone pack the packaging, someone ship the packaging, someone check, someone send you an email through this, someone write copywriter behind for writing those content. It takes lots of people to get the perfect moment for you. So I start being more appreciating for my life and have empathy for those things. And I used to be angry customers like, why I get this package bad? Now oh wow, they probably have that. I have more empathy for the life and more appreciation for the life. I think that's something very different from before I was a founder.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Anya, that is super awesome. To understand how many stars have to align for something simple as clothing to be shipped in the mail. I mean, it seems like whatever, throw a package together. What's the big deal? But it's amazing how many things have to happen and how many people are involved in systems and programs and all that jazz. It's amazing. I love that. I used to joke that everyone should have a minimum wage job for 10 hours a week, just so you understand. I mean, it doesn't matter what the job is, but just so you understand some of these jobs, that kind of keeps you grounded to help you understand like somebody's behind that thing, whatever it is.
I remember when I was working for McDonald's as a senior director, I built their technology. They require everyone to work in the store. And
right.
I remember the day when I was working in the store, I was flipping my burgers and doing my fries. And I feel exhausted and I feel like finally my day is over. And I look at the clock, it's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Ah!
What? It's 6 p.m. already.
Get a little more time. Keep them going.
I know. I was like, what? The time is going by so slow.
Somebody check the battery in that clock. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, Anya, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Anya, Anya, at Taelor.AI. That's Taelor.AI. Or check out our website, Taelor.Style, Taelor.Style. You can use a code podcast25, podcast podcast25. You get 25% of first month. Check out the gift as well. And Father's Day is around the corners. Why not give something? Keep on giving. The best gift is time, to save your loved ones time and save the environment. Taelor.Style.
Nice. I love it. And tell me about the Taelor.AI.
Yeah, just the company email, it goes with Taelor.AI because it's powered by AI, so a little bit easier for internal usage.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anya, for being on the show.
Thank you so much, James, and wish everyone a very successful adventure.
True story. It's all in good fun. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. My name is James Kateman, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering and receptionist services for service businesses across the country on the web at callsoncall.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur in all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. If you're listening or watching this on the web, if you could do us a huge favor, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, share it with your entrepreneurial friends, especially those men that probably need a little bit of fashion help, which, I mean, what is that, like 98% of them? 99, whatever, a lot, myself included. We'd like to thank your wonderful listeners as well as our guest, Anya Cheng of Taelor.Style. Anya, can you tell us that website one more time?
It's Taelor.Style, Taelor.Style, Taelor.Style. Podcast 25 for 25% off first month.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night at the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.